Yes, influencer. They are everywhere, now appearing publicly, dominating social media platforms, and constantly producing content ranging from casual videos to large-scale marketing campaigns. Food and beverages have become one of the most popular categories in their content creation. Many influencers dedicate their platforms to reviewing dishes, showcasing street food spots, or highlighting newly opened cafes. They often introduce their audiences to hidden gem restaurants, promote viral recipe, and encourage people to try trending items like Dubai chocolates, bulldog ramen creation, cucumber salads, and many other viral food challenges. On the positive side, these influencers can inspire healthier eating habits, promote home cooking, and even provide significant support for small businesses. A single viral review can boost a restaurant visibility, attract new customers, and help local establishments thrive in a competitive industry. Their platforms can also serve as a space for cultural exchange, allowing people to learn about cuisine from around the world. However, there's also a darker and more complicated side to the rise of food and drink influencer in social media platforms, one that has shaped the industry in harmful ways. Overconsumption is become normalized, with creators often showcasing extreme eating challenges that encourage unhealthy relationship with food. Racism and cultural insensitivity can also be found in the way some influencers mock certain cuisine, reducing cultural dishes to jokes or shock value. Bias is another issue, as influencers sometimes favor their own beliefs rather than others who are more professional and reliable. In this video, we will take a deeper look into these issues and explore how overconsumption, racism, and bias within food and drink influencer culture affect both the industry and its audience. Let us begin by talking about overconsumption. Overconsumption refers to the act of consuming something in excessive, unnecessary, or unreasonable amounts. While it might sound harmless at first, especially when we think of healthy foods like fruits, vegetables, or milk, there are several cases where influencers push these limits for entertainment. This behavior not only distorts the idea of what a normal portion looks like, but can also encourage unhealthy eating patterns both for the creators and their audiences. One of the most well-known examples of overconsumption found in social media platforms is the rise of mukbang content creators, commonly referred to as mukbangers. These influencers film themselves eating extremely large quantities of food, often in a single sitting, as a part of their ASMR style or entertainment-focused videos. Although the food might range from spicy noodles and fried chicken to fruits or vegetables, the portion size are usually far beyond what the body can handle in a healthy way. Some viewers may develop unrealistic expectations about eating habits, while some creators themselves have reported experiencing health issues or even disordered eating due to the pressure of consistently producing this kind of content. Mukbang originally appeared in South Korea during the late 20s. At the time, it was not meant to be extreme or problematic. Instead, it grew out of a cultural need for connection, since many South Koreans, especially those living alone, tune in to watch someone eat so they would not feel lonely during their meals. The concept was wholesome and comforting, turning shared eating into a virtual social experience. However, as mukbang gained international popularity, the nature of the content shifted. Influencers around the world began recreating the format but with more dramatic and exaggerated elements to attract views. Larger portion, bizarre food combination, and dangerous food challenges slowly replaced the original intention. Because virality often rewards the most shocking or extreme behavior. Many creators adopted overconsumption as a strategy for growing their audience and achieving fame. This evolution shows how a simple comforting trend can turn into something potentially harmful when pushed to extreme, especially under the pressure of content creation and online attention. Another form of overconsumption occurs when influencers make a particular food so trendy that audiences begin consuming it excessively, sometimes to the point where it threatens the sustainability of that food source. A well-known example is the global matcha craze. When matcha suddenly surged in popularity, largely due to influencers showcasing matcha lattes, dessert, and skincare routines, the demand for high-quality matcha skyrocketed around the world. As matcha became a viral aesthetic and wellness trend, many consumers began purchasing it not for its cultural or ceremonial significance, but simply to participate in the online trend. This rapid rise in demand created pressure on Japanese matcha producers who traditionally cultivate matcha with careful, labor-intensive methods meant for tea ceremonies rather than mass consumption. As supplies became strained and concern grew about preserving matcha quality and cultural value, some regions in Japan began limiting sales to foreign tourists and bulk buyers. These restrictions aim to protect local producers and ensure that matcha remained available for its intended ceremonial and cultural purposes, rather than being depleted by global trends. Racism is another significant issue that often surfaces within the content of food and drink influencer. This can manifest in various forms, including hateful comments, discriminatory reviews, and cultural appropriation. These types of behaviors are frequently produced by influencers who are ignorant of cultural context, hold biased assumptions, or prioritize virality, profit, and entertainment over genuine cultural appreciation. In many online spaces, this problem tends to be more visible among white influencers who sometimes treat non-Western cuisine as exotic oddities rather than tradition deserving of respect. Hateful comments often appear under videos featuring cultural foods, but they can also directly in face-to-face interaction. One example of this occurred when influencer tried a dish known as meat jelly, originally galaretka in Polish, and dismissed it purely because of its unfamiliar appearance and gelatinous texture. Without understanding the culinary history or cultural importance of the dish, they mockingly label it inedible and an abomination. In reality, meat jelly has deep historical roots across many regions. The English version, known as aspic, was once considered as luxurious dish served at banquets and formal gatherings. Aspic later influenced American cuisine and helped inspire the early development of Jello, which eventually normalized sweet gelatin dessert rather than savory ones. Despite this rich lineage, many influencers overlook such histories and instead reduce the food to something worthy of ridicule, reinforcing harmful cultural stereotypes. Discriminatory reviews are another recurring issue, especially when influencers visit restaurants that serve food outside their cultural comfort zone. A notable incident involved a group of TikTok food reviewers under the handle AdventureFamily.me who filmed themselves visiting a Vietnamese restaurant. In their video, they commented that the restaurant smelled bad without attempting to understand that the aroma likely came from essential Vietnamese ingredients such as fish sauce, fermented shrimp paste, or strong herbs, staples deeply rooted in Southeast Asian cuisine. Their reaction triggered widespread criticism from Vietnamese and broader Asian communities. Many point out the irony that the influencers themselves were from India, a culture also known for strong aromatic spices and fermented ingredients. Yet, they showed little cultural empathy toward a cuisine outside their own. The final form of racism seen among influencers is cultural appropriation. In the context of food, cultural appropriation often involves rebranding or modifying traditional dishes in a way that strips them of their cultural roots, making them more palatable or marketable to a mainstream, often Western audience. Influencers sometimes claim to invent foods that have existed for centuries or repackage them under new names to make them appear trendy. Several examples demonstrate this pattern. Tanghulu, a traditional Chinese candied fruit snack, gained mainstream popularity after Korean street vendors showcased it online, leading many people to mistakenly believe it originated in Korea. Many traditional Chinese dishes have also been renamed, simplified, or altered in Western countries to suit local tastes, often erasing their cultural origins in the process. A more recent and widely mocked example is the so-called brothy rice trend, where white influencers presented rice served with broth, something Asian culture have been eating for generations, as a brand new culinary concept. Countless Asian viewers humorously point out that this new invention was simply congee, kukbak, ochasuke, lugwa, or any number of long-established rice and broth dishes from across the continent. These incidents illustrate how racism in the food influencer community continues to manifest through ignorance, disrespect, and the oversimplification of deeply rooted culinary tradition. They highlight the importance of cultural understanding, irresponsible content creation, and genuine appreciation rather than exploitation. The last problem is that some influencers are genuinely and deeply biased in their beliefs about food and drinks. Bias can come in many forms, but in this video, we will focus solely on health-based influencers who often claim to educate their audiences on which foods or beverages they should consume, usually based on personal opinions rather than scientific fact. This becomes dangerous when these influencers position themselves as authorities even though they are not qualified nutritionists and often lack proper research skills or understanding of nutritional science. These biases can be subtle or heavily disguised, appearing in catchy labels such as superfoods, miracle cures, detox diet, or foolproof weight loss hacks. The persuasive language makes their claims sound credible, especially to those vulnerable audiences who are seeking fast solutions to their health concern. Unfortunately, behind these promises is usually a lack of evidence, misleading information, or complete disregard for potential risk. A recent example of this issue is the rise of influencers encouraging their followers to drink raw milk. For context, raw milk does not go through pasteurization, a heating process that kills harmful bacteria. Because of this, raw milk may still contain dangerous pathogens such as E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria, and other bacteria that can cause severe illness. However, biased influencers often claim that raw milk is more natural, richer in nutrients, or far healthier than processed milk varieties like skim, ultra heat temperature milk, or full cream milk. These messages spread quickly on social media, gaining traction among audiences who are unaware of the scientific reasoning behind food safety regulation. Unfortunately, trained and certified nutritionists who also create content online videos have stepped in to counter these false claims. They explain the real dangers of consuming unprocessed cow milk and clarify that pasteurization does not significantly reduce nutritional value, but instead ensures safety. These professionals work to debunk misinformation, although their voices sometimes struggle to compete with viral, sensationalized content from biased influencers. Sadly, the consequences of extreme belief in unverified dietary trends can be fatal. One well-known case is that of Zana Samsonova, also known online as Zana the Art, a vegan influencer who followed an extremely restrictive fruit-only diet. Her strict adherence to an unbalanced eating pattern reportedly led to severe malnutrition, and she ultimately died from starvation. This tragic incident highlights just how dangerous it can be when influencers prioritize ideology, aesthetics, or online attention over proper health knowledge. It also serves as a reminder that dietary choices should never be based solely on influence or trend, but on credible research and expert guidance. In conclusion, the impact of food and drink influencer ultimately depends on their attention and the values that guide the content they create. Some influencers generally aim to educate, inspire healthy habits, or share cultural experience, while others may be motivated by profit, fame, or personal biases that can mislead their audiences. However, regardless of their motivation, we as viewers cannot simply force influencers to change or behave according to our expectation. Social media is a space where anyone can share their opinions, whether accurate or not. And this freedom means that misinformation can spread just as easily as legit advice. This is why the responsibility also falls heavily on us, the audience. It is essential to approach online content with a critical mindset and avoid accepting every claim at face value. Double checking information, cross referencing multiple resources, and consulting credible scientists can help prevent misunderstandings and protect us from harmful trends. Reliable sources, including certified nutritionists, peer-reviewed studies, official health organization, and professionals with verified credentials. By taking the time to research and evaluate the accuracy of what we consume online, we reduce the likelihood of falling into misinformation traps. In a digital world where content can go viral in seconds, media literacy has become more important than ever. The ability to question, analyze, and verify information empowers us to make informed decisions about our health. Not all information on social media platforms is legitimate, and recognizing this truth is the first step toward navigating online trends more safely and responsibly. Ultimately, staying informed and cautious allows us to enjoy social media without compromising our well being.